on that?
I did.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 10th edition of the Bangalore International Short Film Festival. Presents Let's Talk. Today we are joined by the guru of many short film makers, national award winner, and Bangalore Short Film Festival favorite, Umesh Kulkarni. Sir, thank you very much for joining today. It's always a pleasure talking with you, and thank you for taking time. I'll just take a quick, brief moment to talk about our festival in 2 lines. We are one of the India's largest short film festival, and we have an Oscar accreditation, which means the winning short films in the international and Indian competition sections are automatically eligible for consideration in the live action short film category of the Academy Awards. We got this this year. Sadly, we are not able to go to screens this year. So this year, the festival is happening between August 13th to 16th, and it will be completely online and free for everyone. So we are, of course, having a donation button, which people would like to donate. The money collected will be shared between with the winning films, and a part of it is going to a non-profit called Vidyaniketan. So this is about our festival, but today we are here to talk with Umesh Kulkarni, who has trained so many short film makers, done so many short films himself. So let's talk with him about his journey.
Before that, I just wanted to congratulate you on this Oscar thing, and I wanted to ask you how did you manage this? Like how you are like doing this short film festival for several years, very sincerely, very enthusiastically. But how did this come to?
So this is our 10th year, I believe, for an Oscar Academy. Actually, to be very frank, I did not know about this. So this company called Shorts TV called us 2 years ago and said we would like to collaborate with you. And I am always open for collaboration, whatever helps the filmmakers. And they came and they said they did a small documentary on some 30-minute documentary, and also said that any short film festival which has run successfully only showing shorts is eligible for this Oscar Academy accreditation. Okay. And they said we are one of the few festivals in India which have been doing this, because most of the festival has a short section in their feature film festival. But we are the only ones, we are the few ones which run only a short film, and we have been running successfully. So they said, if you are interested, you can apply here. And the president of Shorts TV is on the board of Oscar Academy. So he said, I will put in a recommendation. So that's how it happened. To be very frank, I had not expected to get it. I thought maybe it will take 2 or 3 years and we have to apply again and again. So thankfully, and by God's grace, we got it on the first year. So it was really hard to win.
Like how will it work in a sense? Like how would we be sending our films for the Oscar selection?
So what happens is, because Oscar gets so many short films, what they decided was they will only take films from the festival which they have identified. So if a film sent by anybody, by you or by anybody, and it competes in our festival and wins the top prize, prize, we send that this is the winning film from our festival, and so that it gets automatically nominated into the short bunch.
Okay. So yeah. It's looking forward to the best film of this year.
Yes. We have got a great lineup, and we are very happy. We announced the lineup on 15th, and a lot of filmmakers, and it's. I mean, we had close to 3,000 entries this year, and as usual, we had to watch. See, okay, I have to be very honest here. I'm sure a lot of filmmakers will hate me for this, but see, 90% of them is. Like Umesh, they have to get trained by you. I think there's a lot of improvement they can do, but the problem is we don't know which is this 90%. We can't ignore. We have to watch all 3,000 to get that last 10%. Sure. So, and that's not the only one. When we come to that last, for example, when we come to that 300 or 200, to come to the top 15 is even more challenging because they are so good.
Yeah.
And to reject them and not put them in competition is it's almost like feeling like you're doing a murder, because that movie is good, but I can't put it in. So what we do is we have a primary jury about 20 people watching films all through, and each movie is watched by at least 3 people, so that we get take an average of it. So of course, the last 200, 300 we watch more times and see, okay, is there a point where we can say, okay, this film does not get through. So it's a challenge, and it's exciting. It is, you get to see so much of talent, and so that is why what we do, the primary jury, what it does is it says that this cannot be in sorry, we can't put this in competition, but can be nominated to non-competition. So at least it gets to play in the festival. So this is how we do. But yeah. Anyway, but let's talk about you. Let's talk about your short films. Girni was your first short, right? And did you make anything before that, or if
Yeah,
I'm
somehow I started my filmmaking with Sumitra Bhave, Sunil Suttankar. I started assisting them, and
okay?
then I joined FTII. And in FTII we have to make like really 5-minute films and 2-minute films
Right.
as exercise.
Yeah.
So at the end of my first year, I made a film called Fade in Return, and which surprisingly got selected in MIF that time. And that was
Oh,
my first kind of festival where I screened my film, and I felt like, my God, like we made a 10-minute film, 2 days of shooting, very limited resources, and it got selected in a festival, and that to MIF, and that, like, because it's a international festival and
yeah.
lot of great films I saw. And
Yeah.
then second year I made a film called Darshan, and this
Okay.
Fade also went to a like a festival in Dubai, and they called us in Dubai to screen our films. Then this Darshan also went to Germany,
Okay.
and I was still studying. I was in the third year, and when this Darshan was in Germany, it was a
Mm.
student film festival. So
Okay.
and in Munich, and we were very excited and went there, and it was like where I saw the my first snow in my life. Like it was
Wow.
snowing. We came out of the screening and it was snowing, and there the kind of short films I saw was so exciting that I never knew that these kind of short films are being made.
Mm.
And in the first year of FTI, got a scholarship to study in France in Paris for 4 months.
Okay.
It's a university course, Université d'été. And
Okay.
and when I went there, I saw that there are these immense number of short film screenings happening all over Paris. And then there were these short film kind of festivals which starts at 8 o'clock in the evening, and then they will go till 8 o'clock in the morning. And the
Wow.
entire Saturday night is a short film night. People have come outside on a ground, and they're
Mm.
watching short films, and like for 12 hours that the short films are being played. So this form as of short films was, I discovered it when I went to these different countries to show my short films and for to study. And I felt that, my God, like what is happening in India? Like why are we not making short films? And why don't we also know that these kind of short films being made in the world? Before
Right.
that, of course, it was not like the communication was very difficult. And though these festivals like Clermont-Ferrand or like so many great short film festivals, they had not reached us in that way. Like only a few filmmakers knew about these festivals, and we were not really knowing that these festivals exist also. So
True.
in so this whole, like, because of FTII, I got to know this great world of short films outside of India, and I felt that we have to, like, all my friends in Pune and from FTII and everywhere, we should know that these films exist, and they really have people are making, like, the whole production quality of these short films is almost like great feature films. It was not like lesser than that, and
Yeah.
they are so effective and they are so innovative that that I was blown. And then I thought that it's like this whole world of short films kind of like zapped me for for almost many years. I'm still zapped by this medium of short films.
So it's a beautiful journey. I think sounds so nice to hear, and I completely agree. I think when you travel and watch these different festivals, it's a different idea. Like one of the uh, thoughts, I met some people in Oberhausen when I went 2 years ago. And one of the festivals they were saying was they have a section on horror films, and it is screened in a cemetery. They actually they'll put up a screen there, and people have to sit on these graves and watch. And I
Yeah,
was like, what crazy ideas people have, and it's an exciting thing, you watch it for 2 hours, but you're still watching movies with the ghosts around and stuff like that. So it's great. Well, yeah.
so
So
when I made this, this Darshan also traveled outside of India, and
okay.
there what I found was because we were not exposed to short films, we had only seen films, uh, like short films which are documentaries and made by FD and uh, places like that. And then when we came to FTI, we saw some diploma films which were made as a part of um our course
Right.
by all the people who passed out from FTI. And whenever we are shooting a short film, like an exercise, like a 10-minute exercise or 5-minute exercise in Pune, and when we used to tell people that we are making a short film, so they used to kind of wonder, uh, what is the short film? So they used to
Mm.
ask me, oh, you're making a documentary. And I used to tell them, no, no, we are not making a documentary. We are making a short film which has a story and
Yeah.
which is not a documentary, which is like a fiction, but still short. And people used to wonder, like, what exactly does that mean? So, because
Mm.
I didn't know about it at that time. And
Yeah.
then somehow this Girani, which was my diploma film, and institute has started like showing these films and sending these films outside of India.
Mm.
Uh, and to make like the Indian short film festivals, there were very few at that time, like maybe one or two short film festivals had
Mm.
started. And then this Girani somehow uh, made me travel a lot, and I was feeling that, oh, you can make a short film and travel the whole world. Like
Yeah.
how great it is to. So it went to New York, it went to Jeonju in Korea, it went to Germany, and like a lot of places in Germany. Then it went to Brazil, so many festivals, and I came to know that. And when I went there, the great thing which happened is I made so many great filmmakers who were also making short films at that time,
Yeah.
and watched their short films, and this whole camaraderie of short filmmakers is amazing. I've
Yes.
never found that camaraderie with feature filmmakers, because
Yes.
in feature films, when I started making feature films and started traveling with the feature films,
Mm.
everybody was running, and there was no time to watch each other's films, and there was no time. Everybody was trying to sell their films, have these meetings, and short films were such like calm atmosphere, cozy places. You meet people, you see each other's films, you talk about life, you talk about films. So I always liked short film festivals much more than the feature film festivals.
I completely agree. I think the energy in a short film festival is so much better because
Yeah,
you're meeting the filmmaker, you're hanging out with them,
yeah.
you're talking movies. I think it's an amazing feeling, and I hope a lot of filmmakers are listening to this, that they can travel the world with a 15-minute short film at least. So I think
That's
if you have a great content, I think it's a great way to meet people and go to different festivals. And amazingly, I I I agree to your point. Short film festivals are much more, as you say, the camaraderie is so much better because it's very it's not, no stars are there. Everybody is on the same platform, and you're discussing content.
I also like, of course, you can travel, and it's a great thing to travel. Many festivals, they give you a ticket. That's the
Yes.
only way, like, I could travel. Otherwise, like, who
Yeah.
could have traveled to like different countries at that age, that time? But apart from that, it also opened me as a filmmaker. It also kind of suddenly made me realize that, oh, there are like so many different ways to make short films. Because
Correct.
what we were stuck with is that there has to be. a certain kind of a story, and it has to be put in a certain kind of a way.
Yeah.
And because that's what we had seen, and that's what we had known so far. But these festivals kind of opened me up to the possibilities of short filmmaking, and that is the it enriched me with, and it just kind of made me like it baffled me. I whatever ideas that I had about short films, they got completely changed, shattered, and reformed because of these film festivals, short film festivals. And I started thinking more openly when I went to, and also it's not like very. Just a second. There is the
Yeah.
rain started and I've opened like my.
Sure, sure, sure.
So just a moment.
No problem. I'll just show us a shot of Girni by then. I think,
Sure.
yeah, so that I love this shot.
That was, of course, the last shot that we took of
Okay.
in the shooting.
Yeah. So, how many festivals did you go to
Actually, I
with this?
was almost traveling like back to back. I went to Czech Republic, and there the film won the best film award in that Czech short film festival. It's in
Okay.
Karlovy, and then
Okay.
they invited me as a jury the next year. So it was not
Okay.
just once I went to Czech Republic. Then again next year I went. Then I went to New York in the Tisch School of Arts Short Film Festival.
Right. Right.
So,
Yeah.
so there also it kind of won the award. And winning the award was like more than anything else. It was like watching your film along with all the short filmmakers from the world and
Yes.
understanding, because then you realize that how like the way you think and how insufficient sometimes it is, how like why are we not open. And that is the greatest award actually, when you watch your film along with like the filmmakers from all over the world, you suddenly
Right.
realize so many things about your own self and the way you think. It's not always like you are not always kind of belittled, but because sometimes you feel that oh like the image that you kind of think uh, perhaps this is the reason why you think of an image in a particular way, and why
True.
can't we, like for example I uh, generally I have avoided taking these extreme close-ups of the faces, which somehow I don't. I was not feeling comfortable with those kind of like image where like it's just the face or just the lips, or, and suddenly I saw that, but I realized it when I saw these images in the short films, or also the process of short films, because so many different people have various different ways to enter the process, and that also kind of like makes us think what is our process, because many times we uh, I feel that we are not writers, so we can't write like the writers do. But that's okay. You can find your own way to write a short film. You can write with images. You can write with your like you can find your own understanding of writing. You can make just notes, and India is also a great place in that sense. They really kind of uh, they make you free. They make you think free. it's not a place where you have to think in a particular way. So that the energy of FTI also helped me along with these festivals and along with these places where I started thinking more openly. And then, of course, first time I went to this eastern side, like Anju, I went to, and suddenly the eastern way of understanding short film as a medium was very different, and the
Correct.
West. And then I realized that in the West, the government was supporting short filmmaking. Like if you have a producer, you can apply for a funding to make a short film, and then they will fund you to make a short film. And there are like several like French filmmakers and German filmmakers. They have made short films with the government funding. And I said, like, my God, like what a great place it is to be where you. And that's why their films look almost
Yes.
like made with film cameras, made with
Yeah.
huge amount of budgets, but at
Yeah.
the same, and at that time the digital cameras had not really come. Like we used to have these uh, like the video
Cassette.
cameras,
Yeah.
cassette. So those were available, but not the digital cameras. And I think
Yeah.
with the digital cameras, suddenly in India it became like the it democratized the short film making as a medium. I
Absolutely.
feel very fortunate that it did so.
Absolutely. No, what you said was so true. I think some of the filmmakers think that my story writing skills, I can say a story, but but to write it, put it on a text, and then go to cinema might be a great challenge. But the idea you are talking about images as your story and taking then to the visual image camera to capture it. I think it's a big learning for short filmmakers or even just filmmakers to think and how to go forward. I think because a literature of 4 pages can be done it in 10 seconds in cinema in
Yeah.
uh, in a film basically. So I think
Mhm.
the
Or a page can be transformed into a feature film, or a
yes.
story can be transformed into a feature film.
Very true. Thank you. That's a good one. Yeah, but also Girni won the national award, right, for that year. And
Yes.
did that make you think twice? Okay, now I have reached a status, should I look at features, or how, what was your thought on that?
Actually, I have generally in my life I'm never used to kind of winning awards and all. So it was kind of a surprise that to a national award for best non-feature film, and also Manoj Lobo who did the cinematography. He got the award for cinematography, and also we got the award for direction. And this it suddenly made me kind of think that whatever we are trying to communicate, because when we were making films in FTI, we were not making for anyone else. We were just trying out things for our
Right.
own self. We never imagined an audience for our films, and then we suddenly thought and we realized that whatever we are trying to make, whatever we are trying to portray through the images and through these films, it's reaching out to someone. So there is a certain kind of communication which is happening, and people are liking these things. It's we can reach out to people, and suddenly you also get to know that, oh, you make a film and it reaches to so many people, and you become friends when you make a film and someone watches that film, even if you have not met, you kind
Yeah.
of find a connection. And I love making friends, so it's like you
Yeah.
film becomes a tool to make more and more friends.
It's a great.
But at the same time, by that time, I had started loving short films as a medium itself.
Yeah.
And because I had not made feature films, I had assisted for feature films to Sumitra Bava and Sunil Sukankar, but I had not
Mm.
made a feature film. But it gave me a great amount of confidence that let's let's make a film, but we will definitely keep making short films, because that I now I'm like fallen in love with this form as a short film. So
Mm.
so I kept making some other short films in between till I made Vadu, my first feature film,
Right.
and immediately after Vadu, I made another short film. So I decided, I made it a point that between two feature films, I have to make a short film to
Great.
rejuvenate, to kind of explore the possibilities, and to kind of like suddenly wash myself. It's like like a cleansing. So short film making almost becomes like a cleansing, because then short film, everything is small. Everything
Yes.
is like, the work is not small. Like people think that short film can be made with less efforts. It's not true. The amount of efforts you put in a feature film is almost equal to the amount of efforts you put in a short film also.
Correct.
But the scale is small. The stakes are small. The great thing about short films is, because the budgets are small and because the stakes are small, you can experiment more. In a feature film, the whole paraphernalia, first of all, to get the money in crores, sometimes like even
Yes.
more, and to justify that money, then you have to think of audience, you have to think of who is going to watch that film. You have to know that if this film will be distributed, how it will be distributed, what is the distribution cost. So with a feature film, all these paraphernalias they come.
Correct.
And
Correct.
with a short film, you're actually free. You can make a film in no budget. You can make a film with whatever less money that you have. You can make
Yeah.
a film the resources that you have, that you can pull off, and still you can. So the content becomes more important, and that gives you immense freedom. So what this short film as a form gives you is something completely invaluable, which is the freedom to express in whatever way you want. So
Very Umesh, you in your when you started talking, you spoke about when we did movies for FDII, you did not think about people, but when you started making friends, then you said the reach is so much. So when a short film maker starts his movie, how important is it to keep audience in mind, or should he just go by this is what I want to say? It's okay if anybody accepts or not. It's fine. So what is the thought process one should have?
I think every film will have an audience, because we can't define our audience for a short film. Like who it can be, your parents, it can be the families you know, it can be someone like a festival curator. It can be different forums where they curate short films of different genre or a different subject. So it can be anyone. So as far as I'm concerned, I've decided that I'll make a short film. I'll make a film that I would like to watch.
Right. Right.
Rest, because otherwise, whom you will make a film for? Like, how can you say that? Okay, this is your primary audience and this is your secondary audience. So
Yeah.
you can't define it. The whole world is your audience, and perhaps no one, and just you. So it's like it's very difficult to figure out who is exactly your audience, and you make a film, and then you will find people who will respond to whatever you have made, and that
Mhm.
it will reach its own audience eventually, because film, fortunately, it's a thing that doesn't get over in a week's time or in a year's time. Like we made Girini in 2005, and we are like, some people are still watching it, and they still kind of call me and tell me that what they felt about the film. So this when you give birth to a film, it lives, it has its own life, it lives
Yeah.
its own life. And then it kind of surprises you that oh, you made something and it's still relevant. It kind of is completely baffling, and also very gratifying
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Three. I just wanted to go to go to your next film, Three of Us. When you did Three of Us, is this a documentary of a family, or is it? I was a bit confused when I was watching it. I mean, at the end of the day, I realized, of course, it's a story of a family, their whole process of what is happening in their lives. But what was his idea behind Three of Us? Where did you get this? And
So I would generally in my life, I'm always uh, trying to negate the tags. So constantly we're tagging things, because once we tag a thing, we feel comfortable. And
yeah,
so this
yeah,
thing, like whether a film is a documentary or a fiction, tag. Why can't a film just be a film? Like
right.
so, I'm trying to uh, have something which is which you don't know whether it's a documentary or whether it's a fiction. How does it make a difference if it does something to you while
Mhm.
watching it? That's that. So, and then let it. let it be this, let this confusion be there, because then we question our tagging. Then we question the system of our tag, like
Yes.
what we call as a documentary and what we call as a fiction. Because sometimes the documentaries are made like fiction, and sometimes the fiction films are made like documentaries. So,
Yes.
so, but the idea was that this family, which we see in three of us, they are my distant relatives. I'm
Okay.
seeing since I was a child, and they always kind of made me mesmerized. I was mesmerized to look at them. They were with this kind of odds. They were always happy, and they used to carry themselves with such ease, and it made me learn so many things. So I thought, let me just get these moments from their life and make a film about these moments.
Okay.
And the way we shot it is like fiction, because we had it's a very uh, interesting thing, because we had 18 minutes of footage,
Yeah.
and the film is 15 minutes. So
Yes. Yes.
we had no possibility of a retake, or we can't just keep shooting like what people do with the digital cameras. So
Yeah.
that was the thing. We were shooting with the institute camera. It was an institute exercise, and so we have to be very precise of what exactly that shot has to be. So we didn't in a way innovated things. We didn't make them do things which they never do, but
Okay.
they have to do those things exactly in that point of time. So in a way, it's they were made to do those things, but those things are not something which they don't do.
Okay.
So it's a mix of. So I don't call it a documentary. I don't call it a fiction. It's a film.
Okay. It's a
We,
film. Great. But my I have to confess, my favorite among your short films is Garud. Means the idea you have about there's a short film and a lot of short stories are happening in each frame. So before I would like to share a small clip of it to the audience so that and we can discuss about that.
sure.
क्या ढूंढ रही हो? हटा साला पिन ढूंढ रही हो अपना रहने तो बाद में ढूंढ लेंगे बाद में कब अपनी सुहागरात पे
No, the idea of a moving camera completely, and you always see characters moving, but the camera moves from the first shot to the last shot without stopping anywhere, and you are telling stories of different people and different characters there. What was the? How did you get this idea, and what inspired you to do this?
Uh, Actually, uh, uh, I I was traveling in the interiors of Maharashtra, and I stayed in a very shady kind of a lodge.
Okay.
And I had to stay because the train got cancelled or something like that.
Okay.
And when I entered the room, it was like so claustrophobic, and I felt I s- I was there for 2-3 hours or something like that, and then I this idea came that who all must have come here, because these lodges near the railway stations, they are
Mm.
for kind of people make different uses of these places, and
Mm.
so many people must have come here and gone. So can this what this room has seen, what these walls have seen, must have seen. Uh, so that was kind of so the idea actually came from there, and then we thought of incorporating different elements of like time and this form came into existence. So the idea of the form came along with this thing, and then we thought of like different things which are going to happen in this space. So it was more of a experimental space, because what happened by this time, I had already made Vadu, the feature,
Mm.
and Vadu had like so many dialogues. It's like a Marathi film. Everybody is talking, and we did the dubbing for that film for almost 6 months. It
My
was a
God. Okay.
nightmare to do that dubbing, and I felt we didn't have money, so we couldn't do the sync sound.
Yeah.
And then I thought, let's make a short film which doesn't have any dialogue. So then we made three of us, which doesn't have any dialogue.
Yeah.
And then after that, we made another film which called Vihir. And then after Vihir, I thought like let's make a short film uh, which has this track movements I love. It's like
Yeah.
I get a great joy in taking a track shot. So I thought why don't we make a film with the track shot as a complete film. So it emerged from that. So all these
Yeah.
kind of things that you feel like making and trying out, you can do it in short films. So
Yes.
that's a great thing. Also, when this three of us was in a festival in Berlin, so like suddenly got a surprising mail from Berlin Film Festival that they would like to screen that three of us in their short film program.
Mm.
And so when I went to Berlin, I was so moved by there were screenings every day, and every day the screenings were overpacked, like house full screenings of short films. And
Mm.
I felt like what joy it is to kind of screen a film with the full house
Yeah.
equally interested to watch a short film, and
Yeah.
uh, and there is this whole like a the joy of watching a short film and making a short film is tremendous. So
Yes.
you can't like really express that joy of like short films, because you don't like along with your short films you also have another different short films. So
Yeah.
it's also like you 5-6 of you and your friends, filmmakers, fellow filmmakers, they present their own short films along with you.
Yeah.
So these 5-6 short films, they become a film in itself together,
Correct. Correct.
and it's good to be a part of that and not like the whole, but a small
Yeah.
part of it.
Yeah. It's beautiful, and especially I think Berlin also has only a very small selection, about 30 films, right, in the whole
They just have
festival.
25 films.
Yeah. So and it becomes even more close knit
Yeah,
group of people who are showing the film. So it's amazing. I think yeah, of course, your Vilay and Kumbh. I mean, Kumbh is your recent short film, right? Shot in I think 2017, if I'm not
yeah.
mistaken. We would love to show the film during our festival with your permission, and I will talk to you about this. And what was the idea behind Kumbh? Was it because the Kumbh Mela was happening? What did you want to capture? What was your thought on that?
So again, we didn't write any script, and I had never experienced a Kumbh Mela before. So it was in Nasik, and I wanted to kind of go there and see what is it. And I thought like this first impression of Kumbh Mela, why don't we kind of make a film about this first impression, and
Mm.
not exactly like a documentary of what this Kumbh Mela is and how many akhadas and who are these sadhus and what do they do and whether this is whether they are authentic or not authentic, or whether this is how do we look at it. But just the experience of being there, can it be captured?
Okay.
And there is another idea which came into existence. I asked two of my friends who were non-actors, because sometimes actors ask too many questions, like what is my character and what exactly I have to do.
What
But
is the
sometimes,
script?
yeah, script, what is my motivation? And many times you don't know, as filmmakers, you don't know sometimes things. So this and this line of like this director's indecision is final. So I like this line. So I thought, let's ask this to, of course, the actors. Whenever we have a script, and there are also actors who are ready to experiment. Even if there is no script, some actors would say that, okay, let's do something together. And when there are scripts, all my actor friends are very open to, like great actors, very open to act in the short films also. So nothing against them. But sometimes these non-actors, they bring different kind of energy. So I asked two of my friends that, would you just like come with us, and let's try to make a film together. So both of them, they came without really knowing what exactly we are going to shoot, and then slowly these ideas emerge. So when we go to a place and we have a camera, and we see something through a camera, what do we see? And how it is different than seeing without a camera. So experiencing something and seeing something through a camera, are these two different experiences? And what is that difference? What is the dichotomy of these two things? So can we think about it through an image? So that was the idea. Then this idea kind of got developed into this duality, the idea of duality. And then we tried some things, and also in the edit we kind of rephrased or rewrote these ideas to make this film. So this process was quite a free flowing, open process of making a film.
I think, see, these are ideas, I think, which I hope filmmakers who are watching this can capture. That most of them think, I think there has to be a story, there has to be an opening, middle, and end to do. But I think the experimental form of short films is so big outside India and especially Europe, if we go there. I think that is something I hope Indian filmmakers also pick up. Actually, to be very frank, when I got a package from Oberhausen, I think in 2014 or 15, and we screened it, I'm telling you, I did not understand even one film. I was wondering what are they showing, and there's very funny films. Like there is three friends who are sitting in front of a washing machine, and the washing machine is going round, and these guys are going round in front of it. That is all the movie is. And I was and it was so funny, and then I realized, okay, this is a different genre, it has its own kind of audience, and there has to, if somebody can explain an experimental film, I think we can develop a thought in Indian filmmakers also, and probably experiment in our own way, to our culture, to our the way we look at things.
Yeah, but in India, there are so many filmmakers who are experimenting with their forms. Like my batchmate and my friend Amit Datta, who is making some wonderful short films, like all the FTI films. Oberhausen, in fact,
Yes.
did a retrospective of Amit's films, and I was fortunately there because they also screened my film in the competition section at that time. But I was very happy. The same year, they were screening my friend's retrospective of short films. So it was so overwhelming. And
Yeah.
like, for example, this filmmaker friend of mine, Natesh from Karnataka,
Yeah.
some the way he has experimented with his short film is something which is brilliant. I really like what he did with his short film, which we also screened in our short film club in Pune. So
Okay.
I'm sure that there are so many like poet filmmakers who are wanting to kind of write poems through images. They are doing these kind of things. They're experimenting with the form of short films. The only thing is like there we don't have like Arte as a channel. Unfortunately, in India, we should have a channel which shows short films 24/7 because those many short films are being made. Slowly, if we have that kind of channel, uh, people who are tuned to watch commercial cinema, who are tuned to watch a certain kind of cinema, they will start watching these films, and then they will start, liking these films also. That there is something more than the Saas Bahu serials. There's something more different
Yeah.
than the hero heroine films.
Yeah.
So, but we don't have uh, that kind of a platform at the moment. Of course, there are humongous short films on YouTube,
Yes.
but you can't find them. Like you can't go to YouTube and find a short film which you want to see because it's a sea. It's like a mall.
Correct.
You pick up the thing. So we need curated short films. Uh, we need a channel for short films.
Actually,
Essentially.
Umesh, there is the channel called Shorts TV, which is also in India now,
Okay.
who are actually buying short films. They're paying money and buying from filmmakers, and they are
Yeah.
screening. Uh,
So I came to know about that short film, but somehow I didn't watch the channel.
yeah.
So
So that means I think there is some development coming. Actually, it's a very good point you raised because you see today with so many platforms available, not only a shorts TV channel but also OTT, YouTube kind of channels, Vimeo, those so many, and technology, the cameras, the sound, everything is so. At least if you can't buy, you can rent the high end at a low cost. And why do you think short films are important today? Because everybody thinks I want to become a filmmaker because technology, the tech thing is so easy to buy for people who are earning well, but they think as soon as I get a camera, I'm a filmmaker. So there has to be some kind of a thought which we probably you can answer, that why is it important and what should a filmmaker do, or rather what should a person do to look at become a visual image person.
So, in a way, it's good that we have a digital camera, so anyone can be a filmmaker. I look at it in a very positive way, because,
Absolutely.
otherwise, this whole technology and these cameras and the cinematographers, it was restricted to a certain number of people.
Yes.
But at the same time, because the technology was accessible, because everyone has a digital camera, we have a phone now where we can shoot, but
Yes.
still we are not being able to make great films with the technology because the films are not being made by technology. The films are being made by mind, and
Correct.
the mind have to be tuned to an art form because we have pencil and pen and paper for so many years, but we have very few writers,
Yes.
authors who write. So having a pen is not enough to write a great story.
True.
So like having a camera is not enough. So we have to understand that it's not enough. Cinema is a language. Like any language that we read and write, and we write poetry, we learn that language. We experience that language, and then we kind of write something. So cinema has to be looked at as a language. It's a language of image. It's a language of sound. And how do we how do we learn a language? How do we have to learn a language? And that
Right.
learning, we have to think about it. We have to play with it. We have to kind of experiment with it. We have to talk in that language, and then slowly we will understand the nuances of that language. And so that if we give a serious thought in terms of like thinking and in terms of the riyas, every art form we need riyas to master that art form. So we have to
Hmm.
do this, and we have to understand, and we have to first give a dignity to filmmaking. Films are not like easy; they look easy. Like you
Yeah.
watch a film and you feel that, oh, you can also make this. But when you start making it, one realizes that it's difficult. But
Correct.
having said that, I really feel that this technology will give opportunity to so many young minds, or minds who are doing different things. For example, an architect who always thought of making a film, he can make a film, and he can bring, or she can bring her own experience of being an architect, or someone who is a teacher, for example, or someone who has a shop, who has a medical shop. So one of my friends who runs a medical shop in Paltan, and he made a short film with his own experience of which he got, and it won a national award.
Wow.
So otherwise, this experience of his, any filmmaker wouldn't have known about this experience. So there is a plethora of experiences which people from different uh, like different lifestyles, different occupations, they do have, and they can communicate these experiences through short films. And if they really give importance and dignity to the short film making as an art form, if they ponder upon it, if they think about it as an art form, and if they try to kind of convert their experiences, express their experiences through this art form, I think we can really have great short films made in this country.
Amazing. I think it's the right time to talk about the course you run, Shoot a Short, which has been very successful. You have been doing it for so long. Could you talk about that and explain what you do in that, and when is the next course happening?
Yeah. So what happened was, when I started making short films, and then also some feature films, so many friends started approaching me, and so they used to have some kind of idea, and they wanted to discuss with me like how to make a short film about it. So initially, of course, I was very open, and I used to invite them. And then I used to know, like, then I used to think that how can I explain how to make a short film with this idea in 2 hours? And
Okay.
I was literally meeting one young filmmaker each day, which I did for a year almost. Like there is some idea, or there is someone has written a script, or someone thinks about like something like making a short film. Someone has made a short film, but is not happy with that short film. He doesn't know what to do, and how this short film was not made according to his or her own. Uh,
Mhm.
like it's not effective, and why it's not effective. So after that 1 year, I got exhausted. Like every day, spending 2 3 hours with it was,
Yeah.
but at the same time it was exhaustive and exhausting, and at the same time I felt that it's not a 2 hour thing. Let me
Yes.
make a certain kind of a workshop where I can talk about this in these 4 days, how to approach an idea, and what is the process one goes through while making a short film, like from an idea to a complete short film. What is that process that a filmmaker goes through, and what are the different things that one has to think about while making a short film? And so I actually, I'm not a teacher, like I like making short films, and I'm trying to share my like because I was also like a young filmmaker who didn't know how to make things. So I thought, let me share my own experiences. But because of this workshop, this idea of the workshop, me and Samar Nakate, who is the professor who is teaching cinema for all these years, so we did a kind of short syllabus of 4 days, where we explain the process of how to bring an idea to a film, and how that process happens. And we did this workshop, and it became a great experience, learning experience for me actually, more than the students who came. And we had a great response, like we had some 70 80 students who came, and it was an experiment actually. Like I was not sure whether I'm going to make this workshop again. I thought, like, so it was almost like an escape, like whoever used to ask me, oh, I want some guidance, I used to tell them, okay, come to the workshop, like. So in 4 days, I will like and try to tell you what. So it was more of an escape. But what
Yeah.
happened was, in the workshop, before you make a statement, you have to think about a statement. So
Yes.
actually, teaching is more learning. So I'm so while saying something, I'm thinking about it, whether this is right to say that, or what do I say. So it was more of a learning experience, and every time, so first workshop happened, and then it kind of helped certain filmmakers, and they made short films, and then they told us that the workshop helped them, and why don't you kind of do it more often. So we
Mm.
thought that, okay, let's do it once a year. So then the next year we again did it, and the next time when we were doing this workshop, I realized that every time I'm making it, some new things are coming to my mind. Like when I'm talking, something else coming to my mind. So it's so good to kind of it's a rejuvenation of like my own thinking. So that's how we kept making the workshop. So we are running this workshop for almost 6 to 7 years now, once every year. Sometimes we also did twice a year. And then suddenly, like this people who were not filmmakers who had just come to this workshop, this friend I told you about, so he did this workshop, he made a film and it got the national award. And that was such a joy because
Yeah.
it's, it's not, I don't claim filmmaking cannot be really taught, but
Yeah.
it can be learned. So, so I'm just being a kind of a catalyst who can show that, okay, this is a way to make a film, and which I'm using, like which I'm adopting. And you find your own way, but because of that, I'm trying to kind of ignite the minds which have different ideas and how to approach those ideas. So, like then next year, another guy got a national awards, and then some films started like traveling in the film festivals. Then a friend's film who was a student of that workshop, uh, so that film got selected in the Indian Panorama. So suddenly I felt that it's doing something. It's something is moving, and so we continue making this workshop because I like to meet these young filmmakers who have different ideas, who have like that energy which I always like. Well, you keep making films and then you lose that energy in between, like you lose that tenderness. And when I make this workshop, I feel again like a first time filmmaker. I feel like, oh, let's make a short film. I don't want to do these workshops. I actually want to make a film. So that energy I get from these workshops, and this workshop, fortunately, when you asked me for this interview, we are having this workshop. First time we are doing it online because I
Okay.
never believed in online coaching or online learning. This is
Yes.
again an experiment that we are doing because I like to really meet people, like physically. You
Yeah.
get a sense of what you are speaking. If one
Mm.
gets that, or if one, then because it's a flowing process. Like if I start telling you something, and then I know that okay, something is reaching you or not reaching you, then I change my method, and then I do tell the same thing in different way. But
Right.
nevertheless, we are trying this. So the workshop is happening from 29th, and
Okay.
to make it suitable for all the people who also are working from home, or so this workshop is from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock, and this we have done it for 7 days. So it's a 7 day
Okay.
workshop from 29th to I think 4th of August, and
Okay.
the workshop's title is Shoot a Short. So if we go to Facebook and we type Shoot a Short, then we will have a Facebook page called Shoot a Short, and we'll see all the details, how to register for that workshop and all these things.
So
And maybe,
the registrations are still open.
yeah, the registrations are on, and we will also share the poster with you on the
Yes. Yes. Please.
Bangalore International
Yeah.
Festival, so you can put it in. We also
Absolutely.
tried in Bangalore, but
We
we
did.
didn't.
We failed very badly, and I'm still I'm still embarrassed about it. But
It's okay.
we will do it one day. I promise you.
Yeah, but we tried, no? So it's good to try. I think
Yeah.
filmmaking, we have to try making films. It's
Yes.
the main thing is to be not, don't fear about failure. So this
Correct.
fear of failure, we have to completely like put it out of the window, and
Yes.
just maximum the film won't be as great as you think
Yeah.
it will be, but then the next film will be. So it's like every time you learn new things and you make new mistakes. That's the
Absolutely.
fun.
Yes. Very no, great, great thoughts from you. I didn't realize we have spoken for an hour already. I think,
Oh,
yeah, I think there are a couple of questions. Of course, we'll also talk about your short film club, but let's take up one or two questions before that. I think so. Vidyadhar is asking, could you please explain sound recording? But I don't think it can be explained online. But if you want to give a couple of thoughts, how do you do it in your shorts?
I think we have really given very less importance to the sound design and sound recording in India. Sound is equal part of, like, we call it audio visual. So audio comes first and visual comes next. So audio, the sound is equally important, like visuals. Like it's not less important. It's like the way visual is important, but most of us, we are trying to kind of go for visuals. Like we want to kind of get great visuals, but we work very less on the sound. So there
Yes.
are different sound recording equipments which are available. Earlier, we used to record on a great instrument called Nagara. So
Nagara.
Nagara were these spools, and now we had tape recorders where we can, like, we have a small tape like this. What is it called? I forgot the name of it, but now we have a digital recorder. So, or a Zoom recorder. So Zoom is a good for a short film where we have like 3, 4 characters. It's good to record sound, but we all the short filmmakers, we have very less budget for the sound post. So it's important to start thinking about sound and sound design and recording the sound from the shooting stage itself. So the more, the cleaner the sound that we record, it will be most easier to kind of, we don't have to do dubbing later on, or we don't have to kind of, if we are shooting something, we can't again go to that place to record the sync effects or the non-sync effects or the ambience. So it's good to record as much as clean sound at the time of shooting itself.
Okay.
And how to record good sound is a complete, like, in FTI we spent 3 years to understand how to record a good sound. So that needs practice, that needs certain kind of uh, uh, technique, and that will come with practice.
Yeah. That's a interesting thing you said. So you believe in sync sound, because I think right now I think everybody's moved to sync sound, but there was a huge, I think even in South India, even today they do a lot of dubbing post. So what is your advice on that for characters?
I feel even if you do sync sound, now the sound has evolved so much. Earlier, it was very difficult. If you have a sync sound, then you record a sound and that's about it. Like you put that sound and then you do some like additional. But now you
Yeah.
can record a sync sound and you can just take the dialogues out and then you can redesign the entire sound.
Yeah.
So it depends on how much is your how many resources that you have and how much you can think in terms of sound, because most of us, we think that sound is like dialogues and music. That
Right.
is the sound in most of the short films, but actually sound is much more. It's there are sync effects, there are non-sync effects, so there are like various EQs, and where you can tweak small sounds. You can make a sound here complete differently, and you can do the whole sound design. And the sound design itself can be music. You don't need to put different music for it. So there are
Correct.
different ways. If you start seeing different short films or videos, then we should be more open to the idea of sound, and that is missing in most of the short films that we see. In several short films where I do watch, are full with music,
Yes.
and we don't need that kind of music. We don't have to kind of, the TV serials where everything is dictated by music. It
Yeah.
just puts us off. It just so we have to start thinking in terms of sound, and that is something which is a new thing for us.
Correct.
And we need to kind of look at sound in a different way.
I think silence is a very important factor which filmmakers should start considering, because even giving blank spaces for sound also creates a lot of information between characters.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think there is a question on Garud. How was the space? How the space is formed for production wise, and how did you come up? How did these spaces come up to you? How did you do the production design for Garud?
Okay, so we wanted to do the tracks, and we wanted to use a certain kind of lens for each shot. So we knew that we can't shoot it in a existing space, because
Yeah.
most of the existing spaces are either they are very small, where you put a camera and then with the distance, the minimum focus distance, you can't see those things. And then we wanted these vibes, so we can't do the vibes. So we thought we have to construct a set in a studio
Okay.
where we remove each wall whenever we feel like. So we did a room with a toilet, and where each wall was removable.
Okay.
And then we removed one wall, and all the shots with from that direction, we put
Yeah.
for each shot, the track is different. Like the distancing is different, the lensing is different. But we created where we can have a dark black cloth.
Yeah.
We start from there, and we come out and we see the room,
Yeah.
and then we go to the other black cloth, so we see the room. So then we take all those shots, then we again put that wall back, and then we remove another wall, and then we take those shots. So it's like one room is being constructed to take all these shots. But we did that room, and the aging and the aging of the walls, it took some 4 to 5 days just to age the walls. Then
Wow.
after we did the whole set, in some places we could see the floor. So then we got the Shahabad tiles, and then we did the whole flooring of on the set itself. So it was
Wow.
like huge efforts were put in the making of that set.
Okay. Very, very interesting. There's another question on with even big production houses now in the business of short films, do you think they are slowly losing the charm? Why is it so tough to find finances for short films? Do you think it will change anytime soon? By Rohan.
Rohan, that's true. It's my worry also. I think that I was very happy when like Anurag and all these like mainstream filmmakers, they made short films. I was very happy that like actors like Nasiruddin Shah, or like very good actors like Atul Kulkarni, or so many actors started acting in short films. So it suddenly people started looking at short films as, oh, there is something like short films. So at least this form of short films was visible. Uh, but at the same time, because it's the monetization of short films is very limited, it is still like an affair which is like, if you put some whatever money in a short film, it has to be recovered so that you can make another short film, and that we don't have those many avenues for to sell a short film. Now we have these channels. For example, this Arte is a channel in Germany and France, and
Yeah.
they do go to Oberhausen or some festivals, and then they do select some films. And if they show that film for a year, like 3 screenings, they will pay the short film makers or the producers some money. So that kind of system we have to have, so that the films are made, and then not the profit is like little further away, but at least you can recover the cost of making a short film. Then
Yes.
short films will be made. And these big players who came, but there is this large short films, which is a good initiative. So some corporates have to come, and then they should support these short film makers. At least buy the short films, give the money which is spent, and then put it on your platform. So these kind of efforts need to start, and there has to be a curation. In India, we don't give value to curation. We need to have curators who actually like scout and who choose short films, who make packages and who show it on a platform. So these kind of curation needs to be acknowledged, and it needs to be given importance to.
Actually, it brings the question to the short film club you are actually running, Arbhat. Actually, I would like to tell the viewers, I just spoke to Umesh before the call started, and Arbhat is a Kannada word, which is very, and it was not a Marathi word, it's Arbhata, which we call, but it comes from that root. And the club they run is called Arbhat Film Club, Short Film Club. Can you talk a little bit about that and what do you guys do in this club?
Yeah, so when I started kind of traveling in these film festivals, I saw some great short films, and I was very eager to show these short films to my friends from Pune. And I thought, like, how do I show these short films? Because the short films, whatever, whether it's a feature film or a short film, when we see it on a big screen, it completely changes its dimension. It's the whole experience changes. So I thought, let's have a platform where we will screen these great short films, and we will invite short film makers, because short film makers, they never get a chance to interact with their audience and tell about their experience, and like understand how whatever one has made, how it's reaching to the audience. So we created this platform called Arbhat Short Film Club. So we and it's running for last like more than 5 years. It's very tough to run a platform like that, because whenever we are there is a subscription one has to pay for a year. There is a yearly membership that one has to pay. It's a short film club, and we invite short film makers, and they talk about their films, and we screen short films from all over the world, like all these short films which I came across. Then I made friends with so they send their films, and we screen those films. And we have some theme-based programming also, and we curate these short films. Like we give a lot of efforts to make a great program for each month, and it's growing, because Pune, slowly we started like having good audience for this short film club. And I really had this desire to create a platform which is free of any kind of agenda. It should be a platform where you can come and you can talk what you feel, without any like politics, any art politics, or any other kind of tags. So you come here, let's watch short films, and let's talk about things which are happening around us. Let's talk about cinema. So this is the kind of platform that we are trying to create, which we have created, but it's very difficult to sustain that.
No, that's why we have called this also as Let's Talk. I think that's very important to have a platform to just talk, without any kind of bias, or it's just an open platform to talk about. And you are absolutely right. I think it is important to have a short film. The main idea of starting this films festival was that, because people were showing short films to their friends and family, who were always saying, "Oh, you've done a great work," but there has to be some third eye to say that no, you can improve here, you can do better here. They had a great idea, but they did not know their execution. They didn't know where they were making mistakes. So that was the idea we started with. We screened about 30 films in our first festival, I still remember, and Prakash was giving feedback on each film. So I miss those days, because it was so intimate, and you only had a group of people, about 100 people around you, and you could talk anything you want. But you're absolutely, I think probably we will definitely think of reviving what we were doing and trying to make this as a regular event. And I mean, hopefully,
unless it's a regular event, this platform doesn't exist, because it's so people come there, and it's a monthly thing. So people come and they talk within each other, then they meet, they make groups among themselves, and then they make films with. So this kind of activity needs a regular kind of event where we regularly.
very, very true. I think we'll take last two questions. We have already gone beyond, and I'm sorry I did not. It was my mistake. I think it's almost 7:45 now. If you're, are you okay to take last two questions, Umesh?
Let's take a question.
Yeah. Okay, Shailesh is asking adaptation or original story. Which one do you think should a beginner go for?
I think if you, it depends on what kind of idea. For a short film, a bright idea is essential. Like you have to have an idea which, first of all, you are fascinated with. So if you get that idea yourself, then let's go for your own idea. But if you feel that, oh, like you're not happy with your own ideas, or you are like not very sure, then you're most welcome to take a story which you have read, contact the writer, ask their permission to that you want to make this short film based on the story, and then adopt it and make a screenplay out of it. It actually, I really feel that it's many people have made, like great filmmakers have made films with literature. For example, Pather Panchali was, it's a piece of literature which was being made into a film. So there is nothing wrong in taking a say, for example, a poem or a short story and make a short film about it. There is nothing wrong about it. If you think that you have a original idea on your own, then that's also equally, fascinating to create one's own story without really adapting anything. So it depends on what you feel.
Yeah, I think that conviction about this, the story is somewhere touching the person who's making it is very important than if it is original or it's from somebody else.
True.
Okay, Vidyadhar is asking, isn't short film like a TikTok? Can you explain the economics of short films?
Kind of TikTok. Yeah, I think short film has I think it has a better sustaining value. As an art form, I think it's evolving in a different way. So the economics can be, if you have like, I always tell in my workshops that to be a short filmmaker, you have to have like many friends, because most of the times, like, you need so many resources to make a short film, and if you have many friends, then you can bring all those resources, and without spending too much of money, you can make short film. So you can make a short film in zero budget, or you can make it in 20 lakhs. People are making short films in 25 lakhs also. It depends on, but it doesn't mean that if you don't have 20 lakhs, or if you don't have like 2 lakhs, you can't make a short film. That's the great thing about short film, because you can really have someone who has a camera, and you can pull the resources from friends and make a short film within zero budget. You can make a short film, make your constraints into your assets, make the limitations into your like into your challenges, and then make short films. So like, and if you need certain things, then just go and ask for it from people. From, like, if you want to make a short film, there are so many like people from Pune. I know a doctor friend of ours, Dr. Sathe, and another friend of ours who is working in a company as a CEO, Dr. Mr. Deglurkar. So they have funded young filmmakers short films, and they have given like resources and some kind of initial money to make a short film, but they give it only to a first filmmaker. So, and they've kind of given this almost to 5 to 7 short filmmakers, and they could make their films, and then they later on they made these films, and then they went on making like more films. So it's like, there are people who can support you. There is crowdfunding also. You can go for crowdfunding. So there are different ways, but don't make it as an excuse of not making a short film because you don't have the resources.
Correct. I'll close this with one last question. I agree with your resources, having friends, but for actors, how important is it to take a good actor for a short film than just putting your friends as actor in your short film?
Like, there are good actors, there are theaters actors who are great. Like, you don't need like all the time stars to act in your films, because stars, the so-called very well-known, very busy actors, they will come with their own constraints. They will only have 1 day which they can give you for a short film. And then your main task is not to really make the shots that you want to take, but you want to finish everything because you have the actor for only 1 day. So what I would say is, instead of having busy actors or actors who can help you, but they can only give a certain kind of time, they don't have time for rehearsals. Instead of that, take the actors who can give you time. And of course, there are people who are working in theaters. There are sometimes asking the non-actors and working with them also is a better bet, because then you can really push and you can work with them. You can also evolve as how to deal with the actors, because many times you have good actors, but then they have a certain way of working, and then you don't know if you want to tell them something that, oh, let's do this. Perhaps they're formed already and they know that they feel that they know better than you, and then you won't be able to mold them. But for new actors, for actors who trust you, you have to have actors who trust you, whether they are experienced, whether they are new, whether they are theater actors, it doesn't matter. They should trust you, and you should trust them.
Yeah. Great. Umesh, thank you very much for taking this time out. I'm very sorry that we overshot the time. I was hoping that to finish it between 45 minutes to 1 hour, but
I spoke a lot. So.
no. I think it's lovely to hear you, and it's always a pleasure to hear from you. I thank you. Hope that we just get out of all this and we go back to community viewing of more short films and feature films, what we like, and have discussions in person than like doing it on online. But anyway, thank you very much again. Thanks for joining us today, and I think it was a great initiative for all the filmmakers who are watching this.
Thank you, Anu.
Thank you, sir.
SFF team.
Thank you. I will share those films so that we can have a discussion on that. Yeah, and please share the poster so that we will put it on our group.
I'll immediately share.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Guys, we thank you everyone who joined us today. And as you know, I wanted to also inform you our Let's Pitch event is going on for Karnataka filmmakers, people who want to make films in Karnataka languages like Kannada, Konkani, Tudu, many more, Havyaka. So all these filmmakers can do a pitch of 3 minutes in Kannada or English, and our application forms are available on our website bisff.in. Please apply there to make your next short film. Katte Movies have come, Katte Entertainment has come forward to produce the short film, whoever gets selected in this competition. We are also going to announce a poster competition. This is the first time we are doing this. We want all the artists, whoever is an enthusiastic artist who wants to design a poster. We are opening the festival, opening the competition on our website. Please go and check the details, and please apply the poster for the poster competition. It's only open for 1 week till 2nd of August. So it will be great to receive all those nice posters from you. We will have a small prize for it. So we encourage all artists to apply for this. Again, I would like to remind you, the festival is happening between August 13th to the 16th next month, 2020. It will be completely online and completely free. There is no charges. If you guys wish to donate to support the filmmakers who will win the awards and to a non-profit organization called Vidyaniketan, the donation will be going to these two things. And we hope that you will come forward and help us run this festival online this year. And and you will see great films. We have a amazing selection of films this year, and hope that you will enjoy watching that and you will join us during the festival. We'll again come back with more talks. We'll probably have 2 talks next week. We'll be announcing it by tomorrow, and we hope that you will join us. We will also put up the information about Shoot a Short, which Umesh Kulkarni was just talking about. You could join online and get the benefit out of it. So we wish you all the best for joining that course. We also would be happy seeing you again next week. Right now, it's goodbye from me. Take care and good night.